All right, here we go. I don't even know what week this is actually.
We're coming into week 12, I think.
Yeah, so week 11, Fuck You JB recap. Here with my buddy Greg, and I don't know if anybody's ever got to meet Greg before or see Greg before, but here he is, buff, way more buff than actually. You do look a lot more buff than whenever we were deployed together. So,
Pretty fat, man. Pretty fat.
okay. Did
Just
you?
took the PT test Monday,
Yeah.
and whew, boy. Usually
Uh,
I'm a 90 banger, but I was definitely sub 90 this go.
Yeah. Uh, I actually, I mean, I know that you've seen like videos and like a few pictures of me since the last time you saw me in person. But my last PT test, I did like outrageous. I was actually trying to get a 100.
That's
Um,
nuts.
yeah, and let me
How
just tell
much weight
you,
did you lose?
so I lost 50 pounds total
Sweet mother of God.
since the day you left, and that was like 4 months. Like
That's crazy.
whenever we stopped playing D&D together and like whenever we stopped like hanging out and like doing stuff, I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do with myself anymore. So me and Ernie and the new captain, we just started working out all
No
the
shit.
time.
Dude, that's dope.
And so yeah, but no, but if any of your airmen, and I know you have a few, ever get a 100, congrats. I was booking it, man, and it's a 15 lap course at Mildenhall,
Mhm.
and I was on pace for like 8 laps, and I just knew like there's no way.
Yeah,
There's
it's what,
no way.
9 minutes, 30 seconds, and
It's
I'm even being generous.
it's very fast. I think it is actually it's less than 9:30. I think it actually is like 9:24 or something like that. It is incredibly fast.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's ridiculous.
yeah. And like it's not even like are you in shape? I ran a half marathon a month before that, and I did that in an hour and 45 minutes, which I feel like is very fast. But
That's pretty fucking fast.
I'm not running I'm not running a mile and a half in Kipchoge times, you know. Uh, but yeah, so I mean, week 11 recap. We can start segueing now. Um, I'll say this just to recap on me and AJ's bit. So Minka Fitzpatrick did not do anything for me that I thought he would. He got his first game under 2 points against Baker Mayfield.
Uh, I think, man, I want to. I don't know if this is the right language. I want to. The Browns look like they could be good.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to like them, but I would think they'd be doing a lot better. They're
yeah.
one of the better, okayest teams, I guess. I said the same about the Chiefs.
Oh, that's right. And if anybody doesn't know, Greg is a Chiefs fan, and he became a Chiefs fan whenever Patrick Mahomes was a Chiefs. No, I don't know. I don't know how long you've been going for the Chiefs, but I just imagine that it came out a lot stronger recently.
No, grew up in Kansas. Kansas doesn't have a team per se, except for Kansas City and Missouri. So everyone's a Chiefs fan, and for some odd reason, equal parts Cowboys fans. But
Ah, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, no, I was talking to some of the guys at work, and I was just like, I think like what I saw in that Cleveland Pittsburgh game was Cleveland realizing that they had better players. They're just playing bad. And then they're like, we're not going to get beat by a fucking practice squad that Pittsburgh is currently fielding. That's what I saw.
nope, valid. I didn't watch that game, and I don't have Red Zone. But the who did I see? I don't know. I saw Cleveland play in like week 3 or week 4, but I did. I like them. I mean, I'm like, I like what potential it looks like they have.
Yeah. And I mean, having Baker Mayfield and kind of struggling through that, you didn't like, you know, kind of say like, oh, maybe maybe they're just fucking terrible.
Well, I've kept him, although I haven't played him. I've played fuck. Oh God, sweet Jesus, man. Oh, what's his nuts? Chargers quarterback.
Philip?
Ooh,
Philip? Let's see.
yeah.
You must
No,
have
I
got rid
think I
of him recently.
fucking pulled a hernia while I coughed. But
Well, I'll see it on the video afterwards. Um, I mean, you know, let's no, let's start with we we had already talked about it a little bit, but we know that you're out of the playoff run. I think anyone RR and below is now out of the playoff run because the top, what is that, six teams are all within one win of each other. So it is kind of a different take, I guess. Typically you don't see this, eighth place in the weekly recap or on the NFL highlights. But so talk about what you're good at. I mean, I think you're actually leading everyone in pigskin pick'ems this year. Um, have you done like betting against the line?
Gambling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have gambled extensively.
I remember you telling me early on that you were really liking the idea of my league because all your gambling goes into one, and you don't have to spend extra.
No, I think the payouts for the I guess I really bid it on what was the other thing where you guys pick like the
The
if
Eliminator.
there's a winner, right? Yeah. No, so I think the whole dynamic of all the pay spreads is pretty rad.
Yeah, and I was trying to bring in more people with that, and I think I got a few bites. Let's take a look. I mean, if I brought you in with this stuff, and then I think you might be ESPN fan. Looks like you got a few wins here. Is the contrast just that bad on my screen? I can't tell. I think you picked the Colts wrong here. Uh, oh no,
I
you
sure
missed it.
shit can't tell.
Yeah, I think you picked Carolina wrong here and the Colts wrong here, so you were out pretty early. Uh,
Oh, that's from yeah. Oh yeah, from like I was out week 3.
Goodness. I mean, it's a tough one. I'm actually kind of surprised I got this far.
Yeah, you took it right.
Yeah, I ended up taking it, and I think I made a few daring plays. Like Buffalo here, I felt like was kind of a dare. I don't remember exactly who they played, but I remember it being like, all right, I can do this. And then I just played safe for the most part, except for this Cleveland game right here. And if you think about it, this Philly game and these Steelers game were done at the right time. Like
No, for
I
sure.
just had a lot of open good teams left at the end, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one because I've won it. This is not the first time I've won. I think me and RR tied one year, and I was just playing safe the whole time.
I mean I think that's probably a strategy I'll use going forward. I think I was just going balls deep on just I don't care if it was a game that had a known rivalry. It was just yep. Here's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. I made fun of J-Dub like years ago, and the fact that I still remember this kind of speaks volumes. But I told him never bet on those division games because the shit gets weird.
And it has. I mean, I should have known better.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to look at week 11 or week shit? What are we looking at? Week 12's matchups and kind of like
Yeah,
look at how you're feeling about some stuff.
no, for sure.
Yeah. Um, so I
You're
mean,
gonna have to read them out, but
okay, you can't see them all that well. Let's see if I can even
no.
zoom this in for you. Is that a little bit better or still too small?
I'm looking at like an iPhone 6, right? So,
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Let's get an interesting game. So Tampa Bay is 3-7, and they're going to Atlanta, which is 3-7.
ooh,
Atlanta is favored by 4.5 points, and it's in Atlanta.
ooh,
Yeah,
man.
it's weird, right? Because Tampa Bay is going to score, but Atlanta's defense has looked like the best defense in the league in the last 2 weeks.
I I would probably pick the Bucks regardless. Who do you got, Evans or Godwin? That's going to be the fantasy football scorer.
Yeah. So I mean, I have Evans, but like I don't even know. Like I saw Atlanta beat New Orleans, and then I witnessed Atlanta fucking destroy Kyle Allen and the Panthers in the last 2 weeks. And this is another division game.
Yeah,
4.5 points seems fair. Like it's not the easiest one to call, I would think.
yeah. No, I mean,
I don't know. I think with Atlanta's like recent ability to get the turnovers, that I would probably go with them with 4.5 because Jameis Winston has uh, a very good ability to turn the ball over. But I don't know. That's just how I feel on that one. Also, go figure that whenever Austin Hooper is essentially ruled out for the rest of the season, Atlanta starts to win. You know.
I mean, speaking of tight ends, I mean you have OJ Howard, right?
No, you have OJ Howard.
In another league, right?
Oh,
You picked
yes,
him
I
up.
do. I have him in a dynasty league. Yes.
Yeah, what a disappointment. I think if the Bucks could actually use him to his full potential, I think the Bucks would be, at least three more wins ahead.
Yeah. Um, yeah, he's God, like last year he was like 3 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown, but this year it's like nah, zero. In fact,
But
I
the
think
dude, he's a fucking monster. I mean, I know tight ends, right? You're supposed to be, but not only is he just massive, but I mean, he can fucking catch the ball.
yeah, I think last week God, who's the other tight end for the Bucks? But
The
anyways,
white
last week,
guy.
yeah, the white guy had 10 catches.
Yeah.
Is he sending us a message? I think he's sending us a message that he just does not like OJ Howard because, yeah, Cameron Brate, there it is. And I don't know if he had
Yeah.
10 catches, but maybe. No, yeah, he had 10 catches for
So I would
73
say I
yards.
watched that game. He definitely he was targeted.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, it does not seem like OJ Howard is a player that is very much liked by Bruce Arians and co.
No, but he's still one of those ones that I would probably keep,
Yeah.
depending on how many people we can keep going into next season. I don't know. I would just have a problem.
Yeah.
I
Well, we
would have
can
to put some thought into it.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that in a little bit. Here's one that I think is easy. I'll see if you would take the other way. Cleveland Browns minus 10.5 at home against Miami. I think I would take Miami, right?
Uh,
That's a lot of points.
that is a lot of points, but I'll just ride the bandwagon of hating Miami. I mean, they have sucked. I mean, they're just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Although I bet on them fucking last week, and yeah. So,
Didn't that work out though? Miami covered
oh
last week.
no, it didn't. No, then I didn't. I didn't bet on
We can find out. No, Miami did not cover. However, they did score 20 points, which is actually kind of crazy against the Bills.
them. That yeah, no, that was probably their only decent showing. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I I think Miami's going to bite it.
Yeah. Let's see if we can see another good one in here. So here's one that I think is weird. Did you know Oakland is 6-4 right now?
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Oakland's a pretty good team right now. I also think they have one of the top 10 offenses. They're only favored by 2.5 points at New York Jets, who are,
Wow.
yeah, 3-7. Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell? Question mark. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at these ones and I'm thinking they're easy, and maybe I'm not picking the right ones. I could pick something that's a little more difficult, but you would go with Oakland here, right?
100%.
Yeah. Let's see if there's any ones that are close. Okay, well here's one that might not be a little bit close, but it's probably just skewed because of who it is. Dallas at New England. New England minus 6.5.
Ooh, no, I think you still have to give it to the Pats.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, how much like are they even scoring anymore? I mean, obviously the defense is something to be talked about, but they haven't even been playing defense very well recently.
Well, what? Just what? Have they had 2 weeks with? I would say subpar D.
Yeah.
So I don't know. 8 out of 10 weeks is still pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, they allowed 37 by Baltimore, and Lamar Jackson's not really fair.
Oh God, that guy's man.
Yeah. And then I guess last week they did play good defense. It was against the Eagles, so it's not really like much to defend, but they only allowed 10 points. So I don't know. Yes. Okay, come inside. Um, One that would have been a little bit more interesting early on in the season. Uh, Rita, Green Bay San Francisco minus 3.5 at home against Green Bay, and Green Bay is heavily the betting favorite here. 65% of people bet on Green Bay.
I'm I probably got to dig in a little deeper, but what's the point spread?
San Francisco minus 3.5 at home.
Yeah, so no, I would still go San Fran for sure.
Yeah, you would
Why? Where are
be.
you leaning?
I don't know, like, because Green Bay is and has been playing really well. I don't know if they've been playing
Fair.
3.5 points better than San Francisco, and then you have like the home field advantage thing. Um, because Green Bay played a really good game against Carolina 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw that. One of the better games I've seen in a while. But I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, that's a little bit of pick'ems. Let's see. Let's go to fantasy home here. So what were we going to talk about beforehand was what you thought. Obviously, after I got off with Riley, we were talking about some rule changes. I think it was Riley. It might have been AJ. So one keeper for next year, and that's to incentivize more people to come in and not put new teams at a disadvantage. Um, what do you think about one keeper going into next year? Are you like messed up about it because you had like people that you're waiting to keep, or are you thinking that it's actually a lot more fair and that kind of thing?
Ooh, man. So I could argue this both ways. So I think the biggest thing with me is I did one auction league probably when I was 17 years old, right? So this was fucking 20 years ago, and it was
Yeah.
like whiteboarded. So it didn't stick, right? So I think I really fucked myself, regardless of the keepers. I think just right off the bat from auctioning, just being, my mother's maiden name is Goldstein, so I'm pretty Jewish, so I'm pretty tight with my money, and I
Yeah.
think I really, I really kind of played played that way, and it was almost too late. I'd only bid so much, and then it was like, oh, that's way overvalued. But I think no, you just got to go in there with a couple people in mind, and I mean, as long as we're not talking, I don't think there's any $100 people, but I think it's okay to overpay, right? And
Yeah.
so that's where I kind of effed up.
Yeah, that's actually how
But
I do it too. I do go in there with just a Sierra, don't do that. I go in there with people in mind, and actually I could tell you exactly who I had in mind. I remember I took Alvin Kamara into the draft, and I took Ezekiel Elliott into the draft. I don't remember who else I took into the draft anymore, but I knew that I wanted DeAndre Hopkins, and I wanted a top quarterback.
it was three that you could carry over, or four. You with me?
Yeah, sorry, just had to mute because I was talking to her.
Oh no, you did.
But anyways, yeah. So and yeah, and I knew 100% going in, I'm going to spend money to get a few more top players, and then just figure it out from there.
No, I think that's a pretty basic, decent strategy. So I think I really, yeah, I was just too cheap. But for this season, could you guys bring over three, or was that the max amount
So
that
yeah,
you guys?
we've always obviously there was an inception year where we started with no one, and that draft was like one of the better draft experiences I've ever been a part of. We did it we did it with cash. And we we hired a 3 level to be our auctioneer. Sierra, we hired a
Uh,
3 level to be our auctioneer, and we essentially just threw $3,000 at this kid. and and we're all kind of drunk, so then we also paid him to take us home. I had everything accounted for in the money. It was one of the better ideas I've ever had. We had, $50 for him to drive us all around and do the auctioneer stuff, and everything was included in the entry fee. Pete's talked about it before, like trying to actually do this again with like a in Vegas trip or something like that.
dude, that's amazing. No, the original execution of that's beautiful.
Yeah, it went really well. It was pretty cool. I just remember going to the bank and I asked the teller for $300 in ones, and she was like, "We're not gonna do that." I was like, "All right, well, can I get a few 20s? I guess." Like, I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, one keeper. Do you feel like one key, us all having three keeper, like, do you feel like that puts you at a disadvantage? Because I mean, essentially, that is what I'm trying to avoid. So,
I don't know that a keeper is always going to be a huge problem, whether it's one or three. I could look at the original team that I had, right, and I could complain about that, but I know that really wasn't my real handcuff. I think I didn't look up the scoring premise. Like, I was like, oh shit, they actually got defensive players. The fact
yeah,
that there were so many other things I think I could have done to at least set myself up reasonably. I'm not opposed to it, but I mean, I would think having the mob vote, and then maybe even like if you had people coming in getting their opinions on it, I guess ahead of time.
yeah. Um, I don't know. A lot of times I just skip past the voting now, and that's just to either I don't get all the votes that I need, and not to say that I don't get all the votes that I need for what I want. I just don't get all the votes that I need to know what the league wants. So I just
Sure.
like, I just tell everyone I'm doing everything in what I think is the best interest of the league, and I'm just going with it. And if anyone has anything to say, we usually try to talk it out a little bit before it's fully into place. But a lot of times I don't make changes until off season.
No, I think. I think one person, right? If you're trying to get more people, right, which this would be so much better, at least with a ten person league, right? 12 would be the sweet spot. I don't know. I'd argue 14, but I think trying to get additional folks in, yeah, everyone just has one keeper versus three, and then what? Two of you guys have a pretty stacked team.
Yeah.
Uh, to where like man rolling over three players, I think damn that would be kind of intimidating. I think walking into, especially looking at your guys' current lineups.
Yeah, no. So Johnny's always been, and Johnny has a stacked team. Johnny's always been a running back stable carry, like a running back just out the ass. He's had Derrick Henry, I think, every year. He's had Marlon Mack for 2 years. He's had Melvin Gordon, obviously Los Angeles Chargers flair, and like he's always been that kind of guy. It's actually surprising that Johnny has a top quarterback because typically he never has quarterbacks. Um, and I just got lucky early on in the league. I had Alvin Kamara for almost nothing, and I had Tyreek Hill for almost nothing, and
Yep.
that just vaulted me. And so I like the idea of three keepers because there is some um, like my own feel to it, and it does feel like I did this thing. Now I get to reap the rewards. But I just think that if we were to bring in more people and try to keep more people, we can't have three keepers next year. We should do maybe just one, and then they would get to draft from the player pool of players on the whatever's left. So if I keep Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara will be an available keeper to whoever wants to come in next year.
Now, even after I say talking about it out loud, but even after you just like made note to how many people you have on your team that you would just swoop up for hella fucking cheap, uh, if you had three keepers, yeah, I'd probably go at just one.
Yeah, yeah, no, like I have too many keepers at this point because even Joe Mixon is a keeper candidate now after he's been doing so well, and
Yeah.
I would keep Christian McCaffrey just because I'd rather not deal with paying. I'd rather not. I'd rather know what my draft strategy is having Christian McCaffrey than having cheaper players and then trying to buy Christian McCaffrey and get spent up on him.
No, he would go for at least 75 at least.
If we go to a bigger league, I think Christian McCaffrey is going to end up going to like 95 to 100.
But I mean, I don't doubt it, right? I mean, that's
Because I mean, think about it like this: you're going to start talking about position disparity.
nope,
And
yeah.
you were talking about 14 people. We did 12 people with two quarterbacks, and it was brutal. Like, because I mean, there's 24 quarterbacks, right there, and then some people are benching a quarterback every week just so they don't have to go to the waiver wire. I remember Brock Osweiler was seeing time on people's fantasy rosters. Like, it
True.
was bad.
God,
But
yeah,
yeah.
no, that's valid.
So I mean, yeah. So first year in, I think we've hit the pick'ems, we've hit the the one rule change I was thinking about, and you've said lesson learned. Is there anything else that like about the league that you've seen other leagues do that's pretty cool, or that you've seen from this league that you want to see more of?
No, I mean, I think your individual defensive player. I don't know. I still don't know the scoring because I'm seeing cats with like 40 points.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a way to even that out. I don't know that there is, right? Just based upon what things get points, and maybe that's its inherent own strategy to find the boom versus the bust guy for that week. But
Yeah.
I also like the no kicker. I mean, I'm fuck a kicker, right? That's pretty.
Yeah, there's no strategy to it, and it's pretty
No,
boring in my opinion.
no, agreed. But
Um,
no, I've played in pretty your generic. If they were trying to do anything wild, it was like half a point per reception, right? So I've played in about the most vanilla of leagues.
yeah.
This would be the first one that kind of has multiple components, just different all around. I've never even played a two quarterback or where you could do two quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that we do the offensive player position. It just opens it up to where some people don't even have to draft two quarterbacks or just don't care to have two quarterbacks. If they
Yeah,
want to spend money on a position player, then they can do that. So you might not have known. Maybe it's because you didn't look at the scoring format. Defensive players last a few years ago, it was only linebackers because total tackles was 1 point a tackle. So linebackers would get 11 points every single game. You would just
right,
get whoever gets the most tackles. So I said, I'm tired of just seeing linebackers. I want to see some blow up games. I want to see some of these guys that get paid for making turnovers and defensive plays. So we bumped down the tackles percent or points, which maybe it's down too much now, and we bumped up any kind of turnover, interception, fumble recovery, fumbled forced, safeties, a stuff, which is a tackle behind the line, a pass
right,
defended, and one sack. They're all worth 4 and 5 points. So
all
your
right,
playmakers on defense are actually starting to pay off, which Minka Fitzpatrick was paying off from that because he had an interception and tackles and a touchdown every week. So I was like, maybe that's it, but no.
yeah. Which right going in, I think I picked up J.J. Watt and I actually dropped some fucking cash on him, thinking like, oh sweet man, I just threw up like two weeks of zeros and
Yeah. No, he was like a top scoring player a few years ago. He's just not that guy anymore. Last year it was the defensive tackle for the Rams. He was outrageous. Aaron Donald, because I think he had what 22 sacks or something like that. But
But no, I mean I'm a fan overall, right? I mean I'm already excited for next year. Obviously this one's a fucking wash. So
yeah, yeah, no, it's super competitive. I've been trying to tell people to come into the league because of the competitiveness. It's good to know that you're still like trying to already improve what you did this year into next year. And I mean, obviously, I'm trying to do the same thing. How much money have you made back, by the way, from Pick'ems? I know that you've won
I,
a few
I mean
times.
you haven't paid me a single thing. So I
Well,
would
I
say
told you to
zero.
send it to the right email account. I'm gonna pay
I,
you like
I
right
honestly
now.
I have no idea. I'd have to go through and actually like bean count week by week. But I think maybe only 2 weeks. But I'm not positive. I think
Okay.
I've had a lot of good picks, but I think I'm only like fourth. I think as far as the pickums, at least fucking last week, man, that really did me dirty.
Yeah,
But
Yelch. Let's see. Um, Okay, yeah, you're tied for third. You're tied for third. Duke Devil, which is I'm pretty sure Shane is at 82. Alien Pimps, which is RR, is at 79, and you're at 73. So I mean, you're up there in our league at least. I'm guessing that you didn't miss any weeks. I keep forgetting Thursday night games, dude. Every single week I forget Thursday night games.
well, I think I've usually been pretty good, except for the last week where I think I only picked one, or at least I thought I did.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but I don't think you can. I think you have to pick the entire week's games for it to save.
You might be right. Let's take a look. I'll even try on mine right now. Because from what I remember, I saw a gray X, but let's see. Can I hit? I don't even know what I'm hitting here. I'm just doing this for now. Okay, so I mean, you can save just one. I think maybe you're just trying to find an excuse for not doing
That
it.
and I'm not using the laptop. I've been using my phone.
Yeah,
So, but fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah. All right,
I mean,
man. Well,
I'll eat it. That it didn't. It was a user error.
yeah. I mean, in some way it was. I don't know which way it was, but it definitely seems to be like that now. But yeah, man. So anything else? I mean, I think we could probably call it the end of the Week 11 recap, unless you got anything else.
Yeah, man, call it, dude. No, it's been fun, man. Good catching up and talking to you in the beginning. But yeah, this is fun stuff, man.
All right, cool. Well, we'll talk again soon, and thanks for doing Week 11 for me or with me, bud.
Yeah, be easy, bud.
All right,
Cheers.
see you, buddy.